Hey, this is John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I've got a question here today that is not on the software side, is on the real estate side. I've done a few of these type of videos. I know a lot of you are interested in you've read in soft skills about how to do real estate investment, and you're interested in some of the real estate investment advice that I have. So that's what this one is going to be about. So I got this question from Nodir. I think it's Nodir. I always mess up these pronunciations, but it's either Nodir or Nadir. Sorry if I've messed up your name here. Just send me a comment with and let me know. But anyway, it says, "Hi John, this is coming full circle. I already benefited a ton from your career and health/nutrition advices. This one is a real estate question. I'm planning to buy a rental apartment in a different state where I'll be living 5 years from now. I would love to hear your suggestions about buying real estate far from your current location. Thanks again and keep up the great work." So this is an interesting thing, buying real estate out of state. Well, I mean, buying real estate in general, right? There's some basics which I've talked about in some of the other videos, but essentially you want to make sure that it's a sound investment, that the rent is going to cover all of the things that the mortgage, the insurance, the property management fees, all of that. So I mean, the first piece of advice I would give you in any kind of investment is to make sure that you do your due diligence and check it out, and make sure that you're going to be able to rent this out for more than, or preferably with a decent buffer, more than what it's going to cost you to carry the property. Do not invest for speculation unless you like to gamble, right? That's not really investment. It's called speculating. And so I'm not going to advise on speculating, because anyone can strike it rich in speculation. It's the same as gambling. But as far as investing, right, you have to have the clear fundamentals that are going to make this a good investment. So that's not going to matter where you're at, whether you live in the same city or not. And that's the key. The only reason why I'm bringing up this, by the way, is because you're telling me that you're going to move there in 5 years. So what I don't want you to do is to say, well, in 5 years, the price of this property is going to grow. You don't know that. It might shrink. It might go down. But if you make a solid investment for the long term, if you figured out that the rent is going to cover the mortgage and whatnot, and that's going to give you a good investment, then that makes a lot of sense. So first you start there, right? Then the second thing I would say is that you have to get good property management in place, right? I've actually bought a lot of properties out of state. In fact, I've bought properties in state sight unseen, which is going to sound a little bit crazy here, but when I lived in Boise, Idaho, I bought a property that was about an hour away from me in Caldwell, but I did my due diligence, right? I checked out the property as far as the income and verified the rents, and I had an inspector go out to the property, and I had my real estate agent, and I actually never went out to the property before I bought it. I just bought the property sight unseen, because now this wasn't my first property, but I had enough confidence in those fundamentals, and I had a good property management in place that I was sure that I didn't need to see the property. Why did I need to go out there and see that and create a bunch of worries for myself when the fundamentals were telling me that this was a good investment? So I've done that out of state as well, right? So the key thing though is that those fundamentals are there, and then again, the property management company is going to be the biggest thing that's going to determine whether or not this becomes a headache for you or not. You have to find a good property management company. Now, I've fired lots of property management companies, because most property management companies are, let's see, how can I put this politely? They're scumbags, right? They are looking to swindle you. They're looking to drum up all kinds of fake charges to be able to really make a lot of money off of you, because most investors that they work with are very unsophisticated. They own one rental property, and they're ripe for being taken advantage of. I mean, the whole real estate industry, by the way, if you're going to get into this, you have to realize that a lot of real estate agents are scumbags. A lot of people, 95% of the lenders and all the people that you deal with in the real estate industry, sorry if you're watching this if you're in the real estate industry, but you'll probably agree with me, perhaps you're the 5% that's not a scumbag. But having my own real estate license, investing in real estate for the last 20 years, I can tell you that there's a lot of sharks out there that are looking to take advantage of people. It's like the used car industry, right? Used car salesman. It's the same type of stigma, and it generally applies. So be very, very careful when you hire a property management company. Interview several of them, especially if you're out of state, right? You got to do your due diligence here. Make sure that they're good. Call their references. Actually call the references. You wouldn't believe how many times when I hire someone professionally, when I call the references, that becomes a deciding factor, right? People will give references, and then you will call the reference, and the reference will tell you the truth and tell them that they're crap. So, you'd be surprised. The reason why people give those references is because they think you're bluffing. They don't think you're actually going to call and check, because 90% of people don't. So they'll hand out that reference sheet, and that reference sheet will actually have really valuable information. Definitely do that with property management companies. Interview them, check it out, and make sure. And once you've got that set up and you've found the good deal, then it doesn't matter. You don't even have to fly out to sign the contract. You can buy that property completely sight unseen, out of state, as long as you've done your due diligence. One last piece I'll tell you with this is hire an inspector, a good property inspector. You want someone who will tell you every defect that is wrong with that property. So, find someone who you can trust as a property inspector. And if you're going to do multiple purchases out of state, you're going to create your network there. You're going to find a good real estate agent that you trust. You're going to find a good inspector, and you're going to find a good property manager. And you can use them to check on each other. This is another really cool thing is, you can have the real estate agent kind of give you an idea of the property management company and the inspector, and you can have the inspector give you an idea on that, because they're all kind of connected. And you can even hire someone outside, right? Let's say that you're going to hire one property management company. Well, call up another property management company and say, hey, I'm not going to use you guys, but if I paid you X number of dollars, would you give me like a report on, would you act as an advisor to me in finding a good property management company in the area? And you'd be surprised. I mean, this is a good technique to use. Anytime that you have a professional, you can pit another professional against that professional and pay them some amount of money as in an advisory role. They know they're not going to get the business themselves, so they're not going to be partial, but they're going to get money for just giving their advice, which a lot of people would love to get money for giving their advice. So this works in a lot of industries, surprisingly. If I hire a contractor actually to work on my house, to do some kind of project on my house, oftentimes I'll hire another contractor and I will tell him, you are not going to get this job, but you're going to act as an advisor. Will you accept X amount of dollars to make sure to do the due diligence, because I don't know anything about woodworking, right? Can you make sure that this person that I'm about to pay $5,000, can you check his work after he's done? Can you do this, and how much would you charge for that? Well worth that money. Anyway, we're getting a little bit sidetracked here, but basically, if you're going to buy property out of state, just make sure you do the due diligence as much as possible. Especially if you're not going to be present, and that you have someone that is going to represent you that you can trust. That property management company is going to be the key there. All right, well that's it. Good luck with this. This is going to be, unfortunately, this is something that is probably going to take some trial and error. Honestly, so start small, I would say, because you might make a mistake here, and it could be costly. It takes some time to figure this all out. So just don't take all your life savings and put it into one property on this one bet. Start small and see how that works out for you. I wish you the best of luck, and let me know how it goes. Hopefully you get a good property and make a good investment there. All right, if you have any questions, even some real estate questions, you can email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. I won't do as many of those just because this channel is mostly focused on software development, but I believe in a holistic view, so you've got to get everything under control if you really want to be successful in life. You can't just focus on your career. You got to know finances, you got to know fitness, you got to know all these things, and so yeah. So thanks for watching this video, and thanks for the question, and don't forget to subscribe. Talk to you next time.